Hello, I've got your energy stories for the third week of January 2024. And the first one, reflecting another financial casualty of the East Coast offshore wind slowdown, Eversource Energy said it will record an impairment to earnings of between $1.4 and $1.6 billion tied to three offshore projects that it jointly owns 50-50 with offshore developer Ørsted. Eversource is divesting its stake in three projects, Revolution Wind and South Fork and Sunrise Wind, that are planned to serve Connecticut, Rhode Island, and New York markets respectively. These projects have been beset by challenges related to supply chain issues, higher construction costs, and limited availability of offshore installation vessels. In the meantime, the U.S. Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, BOEM, continues to forge ahead, launching a public consultation on possible development of 6 offshore wind lease locations known as the New York Bight, off of New York and New Jersey. A February 2022 BOEM auction netted over $4.3 billion for those lease areas that could support between 5.6 and 7 gigawatts of offshore wind development. In a first, the BOEM will conduct a regional analysis of the area across multiple lease areas owing to the close proximity and expected development schedules of the 6 lease areas. Onshore, GE Vernova announced it has signed its largest single order of wind turbines and services to date, with a commitment from Pattern Energy for 674 3.6 megawatt turbines and services related to its SunZia Wind project in New Mexico. When completed, SunZia Wind will be the largest wind project in the Western Hemisphere at over 3,500 megawatts. GE Vernova will supply project equipment from its nacelle facility in Florida and tower manufacturing plants in New Mexico, Colorado, and Texas. Well, Hawaiian Electric Company has brought a new 185 megawatt Tesla Megapack battery system online that was developed by Plus Power. Offering as long as 3 hours of duration, this facility is unique to date because it has been designed to offer multiple services. These include Black Start, the ability to jumpstart the grid in the event of a widespread blackout. Inertia, which is the capability to instantaneously inject energy into the system for a brief period and stabilize the grid in the event of a failure of a major plant or transmission line. And capacity, dispatchable energy for a specified duration that will help manage the overall system and integrate greater quantities of renewables into the mix while helping to reduce curtailment of those renewables. To date, some batteries in this country offer capacity, and a small number offer Black Start, while a few facilities in Australia are designed to provide so-called digital or synthetic inertia, but none until now in the US offer all three. Speaking of Vernova and Australia, GE Vernova's gas power business said it had secured an order from the Queensland government-owned energy company CS Energy for 12 of its hydrogen-capable aeroderivative gas turbines that will be installed in a new 400 megawatt peaking power station in the Western Downs region. The plant will support integration of variable solar and wind assets and can initially operate on a 35% by volume mix of green hydrogen, with the potential to migrate to 100% H2 over the coming decade. Hertz Global Holdings says it will sell about 20,000 of its electric vehicles from its U.S. fleet owing to higher expenses related to collision and damage, and replace them with gasoline-powered vehicles. Hertz holds EVs largely from Tesla and Polestar, and it originally said it was planning to order 100,000 Teslas by the end of 2022 and add 65,000 Polestars over a 5-year period. Hertz had previously announced a target to electrify 25% of its fleet to be electric by the end of this year. And finally, grid operator PJM Interconnection just tripled its expectations for electricity demand over the coming decade, with summer and winter peak load to grow by 1.7% and 2% a year on average through 2034. Up from last year's forecasts of 0.4% and 0.7% respectively. Total energy demand is expected to bump up by 2.4% a year, up from 0.8% forecast last year. Key drivers are industry, data centers, and EVs. Other grid operators, such as ISO New England, are grappling with similar uncertainties inherent in the energy transition and new customer end uses, such as electric vehicles. In this environment of high levels of uncertainty, optionality, and flexibility have never been more important. Well, that's all for this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.